friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen. This is Intentional Living, and today we are setting up my 2023 budget book. This will be a great video if you purchased my digital budget book, which is linked down below in the description. So if you purchase it and you don't know how to set it up or make it your own, this video will be great to reference, to set it up, and I'll show you how to get it into your note-taking app, etc. So great tutorial. I'll be setting up mine, and we'll be setting some goals for 2023 in this video. So let's jump in because there's a lot to do. So first things first, when you download my budget book, it'll be in a PDF form and you'll need to save it on your tablet. I saved mine inside of so go to downloads and you'll see the budget book. So this is it. This is what it'll look like when you get it. It's in PDF form. If you have an iPad, it'll open in preview. You can scroll through it. We're not going to. So what you're going to want to do is to export it to your note-taking app. GoodNotes is the one that I'm using. So if you do that, it'll create a GoodNotes document. I have already done that. So this is my 2022 budget, and this is my 2023 budget book. So when you open it in your note-taking app, the one I'm going to tutorial for you is GoodNotes. It will look like this. And the beauty of it being in the note-taking app is that all of these tabs are hyperlinked, so you can jump to your section more easily, and it'll allow you to write in it. So this is my 2023 budget book version, very similar to last year's if you purchased it, but I made it more simple, and you're welcome to add in your own pages as well, but I just wanted to simplify it a bit, make it less overwhelming for myself. So when you scroll through it, the first section still will be goals for the year, which we'll circle back to. You've got some year at a glance pages, review of your short-term goals. So for me, that's this year in 2023. We've got some 5 and 10-year goals here, some debt payoff goals, which I don't have any debt, so we will get to just totally cross this out. That was ugly. But if you had debt, then you could obviously do some debt payoff goals here. So we won't be doing that page. So what I could do is I could cross it out, or I could just come in here and totally delete the page. So I could just move to trash and that'll just delete this one page here. So that's something you can do if you don't need a page. Recurring due dates. So for any subscriptions that you have that you want to keep track of, this is a great page for that. And then we'll reflect back on our goals at the end of the year. So we'll do a wrap up of our short-term and long-term goals, debt payoff goals, which again, I don't need. So here's an example of how you can delete this. So all of the other pages are still there. That's just the only one that deleted. And then any final reflections on the year. So that is the goals section. And then you go into the tracker section. You can also click into these sections by using these tabs up here at any point. Trackers are for things that you want to track. So for financial overview, if you want to track your income every month or your cash savings, your savings account levels, like the amount that's in your saving account, your investment accounts, like what their totals are, your debt balances, you can go in here, for example, and just use your pen and you can say like, I have no debt in January. So that's great. And then you could go in your investing account and you could say, I have $5 in here. And then you can track it every year, every month of the year, and then, look at it at the end of the year. So I may or may not use this tracker, but I thought it'd be good to include. And you'll see the first 6 months on this page and the last 6 months on this page with a total, which you can like track either increases or decreases, or like income, you might want to actually add up all your income. So things like that. And then you have a debt payoff tracker. So just tracking how much you're paying, what your goal payment was, what your actual payment was, what your goal balance was, what your actual end balance was. I used this a lot when I was paying off debt. And then also a visual tracker just to motivate yourself for debt payoff. So this was one that I really enjoyed using, so I included it. Obviously, I won't need it, but I thought that others might. So that's a really good one. And then you can obviously go in and add other trackers. There's lots of Etsy shops that sell digital products as well. So what you could do is, purchase one and just go in and add a page here. So you can do after this page, and you could save the one that you purchase as a template and go in and click it, or you can import a page. So if you have a PDF saved, you can just import that into your planner right here. And, it doesn't have to be my tracker. It could be somebody else's tracker, but you could keep it in your budget book, if that makes sense. Challenges. I included a 100 envelope challenge tracker. If you want, to color it, you could do something like the highlighter and go in and say like, oh, I did envelope number 1, and just like color it in like that for motivation for savings. And then the 52-week challenge, where you put the date, the amount you saved, and the total you have saved. So it has 52 lines, and you can just totally use that as you wish, with any numbers that you want. Or if you're following a specific one but just want to track it in your budget book, you have the space to do that. So those are examples of other challenges that you could also purchase from other shops and add them to this section to keep track of. The only thing you want to do as you delete pages is make sure you don't delete this page. So like this is the hyperlinked page for the tab. So you won't want to delete this, but you could delete this page, you could delete that page, and it won't do anything. But if you delete these big pages that are linked to, you're going to mess up your budget book. So just don't delete those title pages, but everything else you can delete and move around as you see fit. If you want to change the order within here, within the budget book, you just click here and you can like drag and drop pages. So say I want to move, you know, this debt payoff tracker to the tracker section or to the challenge section. You could, pick this up and drag it here, or you can leave it where it's at. So you can also rearrange pages. Same thing, just don't mess with the title pages or you'll mess up the hyperlinking. But other than that, it's up to your discretion how you want to customize it. So then I added a note section with just some templates. Say you want to use this every time you go on a trip, and you're going on 4 trips this year. What you can do is go up and just copy this page. And then when you go to add a page, just paste the page. And now you have 2 copies of this note page, and you could create 4 copies, 1 for each trip. So that's a way to just add additional pages. So say you wrote all over this one, you could still copy it and you could still paste it for your second trip. And then you could just go in and delete or erase what you need to erase and reuse it like that. And this one's still saved. So that's kind of how you can copy and paste pages to add your complexities into your planner. So there's that. And then let's erase this. Under extras, there is nothing. It's just a blank page. So again, if you want a blank page, now you have a template for one. If not, this is a great place to add any additional things that you might purchase from other shops. You can add additional pages. So there's that. But then after that, we get into the months, and each month is the same. So I'll walk you through January, and then every month is the same after that. But you can, again, click to all the different months just by clicking the tab that they're on, which is awesome. But January, we start with a monthly overview. It is a Monday start. I deleted the Sunday start. Let me know if you hate that, but I am a Monday start girl, and I was trying to make the PDF less big. So it's still 145 pages. My last one was like over 200 pages. So I was really just trying to consolidate. So I went with a Monday start because I like my weekends next to each other. But I know some people like their weeks to start on Sundays, but I just like having my weekends. So like if I'm on a trip, I can just go like trip, you know, and it's just for the weekend is already together. But let me know your thoughts. I did delete that this go around. If you have my old planner, you could always, you know, copy and paste that page in here with the Sunday start. Or what you can do is come in up here and adjust the days of the weeks and the numbers by adding text boxes. So you could also do that, which seems cumbersome. So I wouldn't want to do it, but you could go in and say Sunday, and then you could add a background, and then you could put that here, something like that, to make it a Sunday start. And you could force it, use your own fonts, things like that. So there's that. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to delete it, but you can. So after the monthly overview, it could jump straight into a weekly budget. I deleted all the monthly budget pages because I personally stopped using that. But again, I was just trying to save pages to make it a smaller file, make it easier for people to download and upload and save to their devices with limited storage. So you would go in and write the week that you're stuffing your envelopes for, any income that you're stuffing, any bills that you're stuffing, cash envelopes, debt, and then sinking funds. I added a bunch of columns for that, so that's nice. And then you get a cash breakdown sheet. Again, if you do this before your budget, I budget first and then cash breakdown for when I need to go to the bank. So that's why I put it second. But you could always adjust the order of those pages, again, by clicking this button here and just dragging your pages where you want them. And then I did an unstuffing sheet. So if you're unstuffing your envelopes, you can write the date, what the transaction was, what envelope it needs to come out of, and the amount that you're pulling. And then once you unstuff it, you just do a little check mark. You've seen me use this if you've watched one of my unstuffing videos, but I used to call it a transaction log. Now I'm calling it an unstuffing, like for unstuffings. So I just thought it was cuter like that. So that is that page. And then I have my monthly update videos. So if you want to see how much you started with in an envelope and how much you ended with in an envelope over a given month, you can track that here. And same for your sinking funds. And then debt payoff spreadsheet. If you have debt, you can see me use this in later videos when I had debt in my closeout videos. So check those out if you're curious how to use this. And then your net worth tracker, which I used as recently as the closeout video for December 2022. So you can check that out as well if you want to learn how to use this spreadsheet. And that's it. I deleted every other page. So that then jumps into February. So obviously this only includes a 1 week budget. So what you would want to do for each week, so this might be week 1, you would need to come in and copy the page and then paste a new set of weeks in your January tab, which is what I'll be doing when I use it. So throughout the month of January, I'll show you setting up my budgets just so that you can see me use it throughout a whole month. And then I probably won't do that anymore. And you can always refer back to this if you forget how to use the planner in some way. But I just wanted to reduce the number of pages, make the file smaller, make it easier to get to people and for it to be on their device. And then you can pick and choose how many pages you want from there. So that is the digital planner. Let me know if you have questions down below. I'm going to show you how I insert text for things real quick. And then I'm going to turn off the camera, set up my goals pages with these methods that I'll be showing you here. And then we will jump into the goals. So eventually we'll be stuffing for, today I'll probably fill my side hustle week 1 budget, which will be for January 4th, I believe. So I might put side hustle week 1, January 4th for the week. And for income, I like to have these as text boxes. So you click your little text and I would go in and put Etsy, but I don't much like this font that's here. So I'm going to go in and change this to a custom font that I downloaded, which is kind of part of my brand. You can download fonts onto your iPad if you want to do that. I like to have them. So since this is my first one of the year, I have to add new text box. But then what I do is I just copy and paste these for future side hustle ones. So Etsy is one form of income. And then I think I also got an Amazon paycheck. So this is the rope tool. If you just circle this and copy it and then hold and paste, you can add another text box. And then I'll go in and just edit that to say Amazon, because I get a small kickback from Amazon affiliate links when y'all click those down below. And then I can't remember if I have anything from Fetch or not, but let's go ahead and put that just to show you how I do this again. And you can also write it like this and it will type it for you in the font. So that is really cool. So that is what I do for that. And then what I would go through and do is come in and write all my bills down. So, you know, I could copy this again and paste it. And here I might write rent, etc. So then once I create all of these, you'll see me just go in and copy this whole page and paste it for my next one. So I don't have to retype all these categories every time. So you'll see me do that in my after this first cash stuffing in my next cash stuffing, and you'll start to get the sense of how I save time setting up my planner. The first time you set it up for the year is what takes the most amount of time. So I'm going to either speed this up or turn off my camera and set up all of this, and then we'll jump into my goals for 2023. Okay, I am back and my goals section is all set up and ready to go. So we're going to start with my year at a glance and just talk about only the high level things that I have coming up. So For example, I'm trying to think of the first big thing. I know in May, May/early June, I'm going to the beach with my parents. So I will likely have to save some money for that trip. And then June, the biggest thing is that I'm going to Europe. So we will put Europe trip here in all caps. I don't really think I have much else early in the year because of how big those things are going to be. In July, my best friend is getting married, so Kay's wedding. That is the big thing in July. And then in October, I have a family wedding in New Hampshire. And then I will be traveling for Christmas. So Christmas travel. And then up here, I also, my niece is turning 1. So those are some big things. But right now, I don't have anything massive. Oh, November, I turn 30. So I'm sure I'll do something for that. So those are the major things here. So I'll fill this in as I keep going, but it's good to write this down just so you know for your budget what you need to think about or focus on or whatnot for your goals. So that brings us to our goals for the year. We're going to start in alphabetical order. First up is Christmas. The estimated amount that we are trying to save is $1,500 this year. And we are starting with nothing. And we want to end with 1,500 in November, though, is my goal. So if we're trying to save 1,500 in January, February, well, 11 months, we don't need to do that. We need to save $136 a month. So I'm just going to go ahead and say 140 to make that happen. So that is going to be a goal of mine, is to try and do that. I did overspend on Christmas this year, so need to budget a little bit more now that I have more people in my life. So yeah, Europe, I want to save $7,000. As y'all know, we are starting with 4,000 and I think 500. So that means we just need to save 2,500 more. Oops. But we'll end with 7,000. Oh, I think I'm supposed to put the months here. So we'll put January, November. Oops. And then this is January, May, because I want to be done in May. So that means we have January, February, March, April, and May. So we have 5 months to save $2,500, or you could just subtract those. So that means we need to save $500 a month to make that happen in time. Medical, I want to save $1,000, and I'm not sure how much I have in medical now, so let me check. Okay, I have $450 saved now, which was way more than I thought, and we're starting in January, and we want to end with 1,000 in December, so hopefully we'll surpass that goal. It's like we have 12 months, so that means we need to save about $45 a month to reach that goal, which we should be able to do. New car, I do eventually want a new car, or will need a new car, so I want to start saving for a down payment. So my goal is to save $1,000 by the end of the year, and we have not started on this, I don't think. And I'm not going to check. I'm just going to pretend like we haven't. So 1,000 divided by 12 months means we need to save about $85 a month to reach that goal. So I think we can do that as well. Pet emergency fund. I don't currently own a pet. Rosie is my boyfriend's dog, so I definitely save to spoil her, but not like her vet visits, her food, things like that. So I do eventually want a pet of my own, but I want to save an emergency fund first. So I'm just going to start slow this year, and my goal is to reach $500, which is just kind of arbitrary because I don't plan on getting a pet this year. But if we save $500 in 12 months, we'll need to save about $40 a month to make that happen. So maybe we will, maybe we don't. That's my least important goal of all of them. Next one is wedding. No, I'm not engaged. No, I don't have any plans of a wedding at this moment, but I do know how expensive weddings are, so I am going to start putting money away intentionally for that. So I would like to save $1,000 in this year, and we are starting with nothing. So to save $1,000 in 12 months, we need about $85 a month. So Hopefully we can do that. I'll probably save for some of these more once I get through the Europe savings. So things like medical, new car, and wedding and pets will probably be stuffed more the second half of the year rather than the first half. And then my Roth IRA, I want to max it out again this year, and I want to try and do it in the true 2023 year. So we haven't contributed anything yet, and we want to reach the 6,500 because the Roth IRA cap is larger for 2023 than it was for 2022. It was only 6,000 this year, but they raised it to 6,500. So that is exciting, but we only have 12 months to save. So we need to put away about $540 a month to be able to reach this, which I think with my side hustle income, I'll be able to do that because I do put 15% of that away. So I do think that's possible. And I have contributions going out monthly from my full-time paycheck. So those are my goals for 2023. I hope they make sense. You'll see me prioritizing these in different ways throughout the year to try and reach this goal or surpass it. So that is for this calendar year. But I also like to set 5-year and 10-year goals. So we'll start with my 5-year. The first two are rollover rollover goals, I guess, from last year. So retirement, I want to save 1 times my salary by the time I'm 30. My salary from my full-time job is currently $56,000. So I'm going to say we started in like 2018 savings for retirement, and we want to be done at the end of 2023. I want to say I have, and I did raise this, it used to be 50, but that's because I have a new job and I get paid more. So I still want to try and reach that. But I want to say we have like 3,500 in retirement now. So that's a lofty goal of trying to save 18,500 this year. But if the stock market picks back up, it might be possible because we are going to put 6,500 away in the Roth. So I'll only have to make up 12,000. So if the stock market performs better and if I keep contributing to retirement, hopefully we can reach this by the time I'm 30, but I'm not sure that we will make it. But that is just what retirement experts say that you should aim for. So I'm going to aim for that. Next up goal is car. I want to save for a down payment. Like I said, we're starting with 1,000 this year. So we are starting in 2023. And the goal is to be done by, I'm going to say 2025, because I think I'll need a new car before 2027. So we're just going to give ourselves 2 years to complete that goal, which I think is the same as my 2022. Let's see. No, I gave myself till 2027, but I think that we can do it in 2 years. So we'll see, but I'm just going to say that for now. And then wedding, again, no clue when I'll be married or not, but my goal would be to save $5,000. We're starting this year, and let's give ourselves 2 years for that as well. So hopefully I can save more than 1,000 in both of these, because then I can reach this goal faster. But if I can't, then that is fine, and we will give ourselves the full 2 years. And then for pet emergency fund, I do want to be at a true 1,000 in 2024. Our dog Rosie is 14 and a half, so she's getting up there and will not live forever. And I know that we'll want another pet when she passes. So my goal is that I could be able to be in a position where I could afford the next pet, or to even co-own that pet with my boyfriend at that point. So I want to have $1,000 put away before I even get a pet. So the goal will be to have that done by 2024. So then I could get a pet next year. If Rosie passes this year, but we don't know. She definitely could live another 5 years. She could live another couple months. We have no idea. She is old though and has arthritis, so we are just trying to be realistic about it. And then long-term goals, my 10-year goals. My goal is to have 3 times my salary in retirement by the time I'm 40. So again, we started this in 2018, and when will I be 40? I'll be 30 in 2023. Why can't I math? So 2033. Oops, this should say 33. I think this should be 28. Oh well, typo. Emergency fund, I want to have 5 times my bills and like monthly, my like weekly expenses by the time I'm 40. And right now I have 5,000, so I want to increase that to 15,000. So I'm going to say that we'll start that goal this year, but we will finish it in 2033 when I am 40 years old. This will probably increase as my salary increases and as my expenses increase and whatnot. But for now, that 5 times what I need in a month to live is 15,000. But this goal will definitely go up with time. So 2023, we're just going to start putting some more money into my emergency fund, just knowing that by the time I'm 40, I'll need more money in there. And then the house down payment, I don't really know how much a down payment will be, but we're starting this year, and my arbitrary goal for now is $20,000 because it's better to have a goal than to not. So again, these numbers might change, but for now, we'll just use them. So my goal is to have that by, let's say 2030, because I feel like I'll want a house before the time I'm 40. So yeah. So there's that. Those are my goals for the year, for 5 years, for 10 years. I don't have any debt payoff goals because I have no debt. And then this is like a subscription tracker that I'm not going to use. And we will reflect back on these goals at the end of the year. But hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of what is ahead. Obviously, I'll need to save for things like my niece turning 1, a family wedding I'm going to, my 30th birthday. But I have no concept of how much those will cost at this point. So I'm going to get through Europe and then focus on those since they're at the end of the year. So those will likely be new goals that I set, you know, as I get closer. Once I'm done saving for Europe in May, I'll probably switch my focus and start saving for these big end of the year things. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how to use your planner, and I'll be definitely talking through more how to use it through the month of January as a tutorial if you're new. So definitely buy this down below if you're interested in having it. I also have an undated version, but it is the 2022 version. Like I didn't update it to this. So it looks a little bit different, but I do have older videos talking about how that setup works. So check out one of those 2 down below if you're interested, and I'll catch you in my first cash stuffing of the year, which will be my next video, where I will also be announcing the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So you will not want to miss it. If you're not subscribed, you need to be subscribed to enter to win that giveaway. It's going to be a big one. So subscribe down below, and I'll see you in that video. Bye.